Hey, and welcome back to Miss Kitty's Wild West Adventures. Today, we journey back into the shadows of the Old West, drawn to a tale of tragedy and treachery. I've previously done a video about the Bloody Benders, and I followed it up with the tale of the Killer Kellys. But since then, I received a message about yet another serial killer of the Old West, a man whose crimes rival even the darkest souls of the Old West. Prepare to be captivated once more as we unravel the true story behind one of the Wild West's most notorious outlaws. Welcome back. Before we begin, this video goes out to Robert Trujillo, one of my big fans, who gave me the idea for this story and even provided some of the research sources. Thank you very much, Robert. And while we're at it, if any of you out there have a story you'd like me to cover, please leave a comment down below. I'm always open to hearing your suggestions. Now on with the story. It was the fall of 1870 in a saloon in Elizabethtown, New Mexico. Civil War veteran and gunfighter Clay Allison was having a drink with his buddy David Crockett, the nephew of noted Alamo hero Davy Crockett, when suddenly a woman entered the bar. Battered, bruised, and bloody, she was quickly aided by the men. Once she was fixed up, she recounted for them a horrible tale of survival. Her name was Rosa, and she was married to a man named Charles Kennedy. The two ran a traveler's rest stop halfway between Taos and Elizabethtown, about 15 miles away, which they had operated for 5 years. She then revealed to the men that in addition to opening their home to weary travelers, her husband Charles would rob and kill the guests and bury them around the property. Now, we've heard this story before. The Bloody Benders did it in Kansas in 1881 to 1882. And the Killing Kellys did it in Oklahoma in 1887. But Charles's crime, according to Rosa, took an even more sinister turn. As she told it, a traveler had come by the inn and was sitting down to dinner with the family. There had been recent conflicts with Native Americans in the area, so the traveler asked the Kennedys if they had seen any in the area, to which their 8-year-old son answered, "Can't you smell the one Papa put under the floor?" Hey, I hate to interrupt the story, but if you're liking this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and make sure you are subscribed to Miss Kitty's Wild West Adventures. A hush fell over the dinner table. Then Charles excused himself, retrieved a gun, and shot the visitor dead. He then attacked his own son, throwing him at the rock fireplace, bashing in his skull. While Rosa screamed in terror, Charles buried both the body of the traveler and the body of his own son in the cellar. He then locked his wife inside the house, while he sat in front of the only door and drank himself into a royal stupor. Finally, what must have seemed like days later, while the body of her young son lay rotting beneath her feet, Rosa was able to climb up through the chimney and escape while Charles lay passed out on the front porch. Through her recounting, Rosa also said that Charles had killed their 2 older children prior to them arriving in New Mexico. Upon hearing the lady's tale, Clay Allison led a posse to Kennedy's cabin. When they got there, Charles was still drunk. The posse searched the property and found partially charred human bones in the fireplace, 2 complete skeletons under the house, along with 2 recently deceased bodies, one being that of a young boy. Charles was immediately arrested. It sounds like an open and shut case, except that the judge assigned to try the case was known for taking bribes in exchange for defendants' freedom. In response, Clay Allison led another posse to kidnap Kennedy from jail. Some say the posse cut off his head with a Bowie knife. Others say that they tied a rope around his neck and drug him by horseback through town until his head was ripped from his body. Either way, his head was separated from his body and reportedly placed on a pike outside of a saloon as a warning to others. His body was buried outside the walls of the cemetery because townsfolk couldn't stand him being buried in a Catholic cemetery after what he had done. In total, it was believed that Kennedy had murdered between 15 and 20 men. While his motive was financial, he was not known to have been a big spender, and some believe he may have buried his stolen loot in the Sangre de Cristo mountains. Whew, I told you that was going to be a dark one. We hope you enjoyed this dark and captivating look at the serial killer Charles Kennedy. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, ding the bell for notifications, and tell a friend. And in the meantime, I'll catch you on down the trail.